mature.
I'm not a know your word guy. It's okay.
Oh, right, that's me. All right, let's see. Got that all set up. I think I need to publish a server while we're in our pre-stream. Do. Game. Oh, I'm in the game. That's all looks good. Guess I've been playing it for a while. Should be nice and tested. And let's see, I'll go ahead and publish that. Deploy, do that. Clicking some buttons, some more buttons.
I'm also working while we set up.
It's pre-stream. Oh, I don't have a drink.
I have. Here's my special drink.
Wow, what is that?
It's an old, like...
no, it's a glass. Okay, I thought that was a bottle.
It's an old 7-Up glass. It's from Burger King? Oh, I don't know. Indiana Jones.
I didn't know. So was that Temple of Doom?
That's Temple of Doom, yeah.
Wow.
Mull rum. Oops.
Yeah, monkey brains and all.
There you go. Oh, I gotta get behind it. The glass is too translucent and it screws it up. There you go.
Yeah, that's the thing that surprises me most about this. I'm sure the users all really care about this, is that it has not washed off. That's really well made. Hey, yeah, John Marcus, nice to see you. And yay, I have an excuse to sing later in the stream. Yay! What were you saying about it? I missed it.
I forget where I got it. I think I got it on eBay.
That's just surprising it would be that well made that it would survive that long.
Yeah.
Thank you, John Marcus. Thanks for starting us off right here. And for this, and I have just pushed a new build that only has a couple of fixes in it. One of which is what I'm here to test right now, because I screwed it up last time. I got you guys all excited. Hey, thank you, Skeggy Media, for the raid.
Nice.
But I got people all excited because I said I added the loot to these bosses. Let's see. I did. It did not make it into the build.
Oh, yeah.
Merge.
It's hard to track.
Merge that guy in there.
What is going in the build. There's a lot to dig through in places I don't normally dig.
This is good news. When I get this, that means the server is actually rolled. So I guess I can do a quick talk since we're still kind of in pre-stream. We do our servers a little differently than I think most people do. We like to be able to push out patches more often than like having a monthly downtime or whatever. And you know what? It really sucks when you have you're planning on playing one night and then you get on and it's like, oh, servers are down for some patching thing, updating thing. So we actually have a set of servers. Well, it's really one server, but it will keep, when we publish a new server, when we do a new server deploy, it'll keep the two servers there. So you got the old server, then the new server comes online. Rip! You get this message that you see on my screen. And then after the server watches to see how many people have updated, and it also keeps a timer. And after some amount of time, whether you like it or not, it's going to close the old server and just leave the new server up, and you'll be forced to roll over to it. But it lets you, if you've you're playing, you get like a good window of time to wrap up what you're doing and move over to the other one. And if you want to like stop out now and go patch, you can do it immediately, but it's up to you in terms of your timing on that. But you will occasionally see, I think we had one last week or week before last where I pushed out a patch that something had been found that was a mild exploit. And and I've got to give you guys the new phrase here in a second. Maybe Stephen, can you look that up? I know you've got the chat open. what our phrase is. But yeah, we had one that had push out. We can force it earlier and force you onto a new server or a new build. So we don't have to too often, but we do have the build or that ability.
Autumn leaves and pumpkins, please, says the player, which I think is correct.
Yes, that is correct.
You're quiet, Ravalox. Keith is the right volume. You're quiet. That's probably it.
It keeps on switching mics on.
Oh yeah, let me do my test. I didn't notice if anybody had done this. Okay, looks like that's good. Oh, there is a question already in there. I guess I saw that. Hollyhock asked a question, and last week you guys probably saw me and I could barely form a complete sentence because I was so incredibly fried. This week I'm still pretty fried, but for different reasons. I do need to put that warning up on screen. Hold on.
The official warning?
The official warning.
Not being fried?
No, not me being fried. Let's see. That is not what I wanted. No, that's not a thing. Don't ignore that. I was trying to edit it. No political
Questions are already coming in. Good. Get that list
talk
going.
at all. Zero tolerance. Let's see. I think that's probably good. Except you can't actually see it. There we go. Obviously, there's a lot going on here in the States that's kind of polarizing. Let's keep that out of the game and keep it out of chat, keep it out of everything. Please, please, please do not make me boot you from our chat. You have been warned. I'll keep that up on the screen there. We all have opinions. Don't share them here. This is where we come to escape and get away from that stuff. So, all right, let me zone to the new server there. Oh, but anyways, yeah, we do have the server is set up so we can fairly painlessly roll out new servers, new updates to you guys that are server side things. So that's what that is, and now you guys know how that works. And now we're 1 minute past 2. Greetings, avatars. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining us tonight. As I was mentioning, hopefully this week I'm a little less fried than I was last week. Last week I could tell I was like barely able to put sentences together, and then I was in here testing this scene with some players with it not going as well as I wanted because there were some errors that were making it run like 5 frames per second. It looked horrible, but I didn't want to leave. But anyways, this should all be better now. I think players have been in here trying this out, testing it. If you guys want to come over now and join us in our scene now, or in the breach now, feel free to send me a message. I might miss it. Sorry. But there's lots of people who have access to this. I don't really consider it fully live yet. It's still going to be testing. This is a really short release, so it may be in testing mode until next release. Now it has, though the experience on it's been tuned up quite a bit, so I think it's rewarding for the difficulty. And the loot for it has been added, so now there should actually be real loot in here. All the creatures will give loot, not just the little guys. Right now, the way it was before is I had it turned on. You could access it if you had been invited by somebody to it, but it did not. None of the bosses had loot. That loot has now been enabled. I'm going to go verify that right now. Actually, I won't be able to verify that right now. Because the bosses... Oh, no, I should be able to verify that. Let me run over here and kill a boss. But anyways, welcome to the stream today. We didn't have a topic really. We were just going to do some Q&A because we haven't done that in a while. I think we only answered like one question right at the very last minute last time. So I know there's lots of questions piling up from you guys. And let me get over here and kill this boss to make sure the loot is actually on and working. I'm sure some of you will be happy to hear that one of the top things we have on our list that we're going to be trying to work on here in the near future is improving some of our UI, how things work. It came up that we've tolerated basically our targeting system. There's always been some problems with it. That's not what she's supposed to have. But you know what? It may be the server has not finished deploying yet, which would mean... Hold on, let me check. Okay, deploy server item reports is still going on. So I got to wait a few minutes and then it will be good. But it came up that our targeting was one of the big things people have problems with. There's a number of things with it. One of them that came up was... It's funny because on the team we'll occasionally, like, someone will just ask, why is something that feels fairly broken like this? And quite often nobody really knows. Sometimes there's a story that goes with it and it'll always be like I remember back 3 years ago, 4 years ago, why we did that, and that reason's no longer valid, but we've left it that way. We do have a large amount of inertia a lot of times. We've learned over time that even sometimes making a change that is everyone on the team feels is for the better. Players have whatever that feature, that thing is so built into their how they play and just their muscle memory and everything else that even though we're making a change that is for the better, it does, a new player coming in the game, it makes it more fun. But for existing players, the game just feels broken to them because they've been so used to how it's been. They've been used to it being broken for 3 years or whatever, and changing it just makes it feel way more broken for them. But targeting is one of those things we're going to take a pass at. This may be, I'm still looking at how the best way to handle it, but we have some very broken context stuff in there and some things that mainly the like targeting a creature, like not being able to just click on a creature and target it versus like having a lot of difficulty and having to try to like double click on teachers. And there's a lot of reasons for those things. Some of them came from a lot of mixed desires towards the start of the project for how that stuff should work, and that was, I think, one of the many compromises. But I don't think there's a need for that compromise anymore. We're going to map out the whole context of how everything has to work. I think that may have been one that it was also players were having problems maybe clicking on stuff and they'd accidentally change their target or something, clicking on icons and or clicking over windows and changing the targets. So some of that stuff we just know how to fix now. But anyways, we're going to be taking a pass at that, try to make that a lot better going forward. And again, welcome to the stream. Today I have with me, I always ask for, hey, Casey Cupcakes, just now following? Oh, Casey, so long. But I always ask on the team channel when I'm going on the chat, I'm trying not to force Elgarion to always be the guy who has to do the Friday night stream with me. Because he's the one guy that actually has a social life on the entire team. But anyway, so today's volunteers were Sannio and Ravalox. You guys want to introduce yourself while I run and get a can of water?
Sure, I am Keith Quinn. I'm Sannio on the forums. You might hear my dog Hero barking a little bit. He's decided that it's the perfect time to start barking, of course, now that we're on the live stream. I'm the quest and level design guy, so I do stuff like, and also the pot guy. So I'll put in the quests, make the conversations for NPCs, make puzzles, usually populate the adventure scenes with all the bad guys, probably the resource nodes. I'll set up your pots and make changes to it, and I'll coordinate with everyone on things as well.
Oh,
yeah. Pass.
I see Lady of the Harp says, thank you, Sannio, for fixing my main quest. Apparently you fixed her. Woo! And there's Merrick Dragon. Thank you, Merrick Dragon. Also, while I'm at it, thank you, Stymie LLTS. Long live the Syndicate, in case you don't know what those LLTS behind people's names mean. And Christ Paladin, Din Haru, and NBNN News, and Lancel. Thank you. And John Marcus, again, thank you many times over. Also, thank you, Trokip. I'm caught up.
So, let me go ahead and do my introduction then. So I'm Stephen Reinen, and I am known as Ravalox, sometimes Zolivar, as my evil twin. I have basically been working on doing a lot of back-end stuff, audits, cleaning up things, bug things, coordinating the bug brigade, and cleaning up the Jira database, reworking the way Jira is going to work for the team, things along those lines. And I'm a little touching on some scene building and other things along those lines as well. So pretty much as my forum title says, Dev at Large, I just go where I'm needed.
I think most everybody on the team could probably qualify for a Dev at Large title, so we'll let you keep that one since you came up with it. But again,
no, I plan on migrating to something like Dungeoneer or Dungeon Master. That's where I really need to be focusing my attention on.
all right, we are, again, for those people who don't know, we are continuing to fix stuff on Dungeons. We actually just tracked down a bug today that we're going to be looking at fixing. Thank you to, I don't know if he wants his name said, because I think some people are using it as a little bit of an exploit. So I'm not going to say his name, but thank you to Masked Stranger, who's definitely not in chat anywhere, for helping me track down an issue, and which actually led to, he thought it was leading to one issue, or maybe she, that was leading to some item getting into the economy far more than it should have, and because of that I looked, and that wasn't the problem, but turns out there was a place that was a fairly easy way to earn one thing that's way easier than anything else, but I know that's super vague. But again, thanks for all the help. And thanks for the bug fixing. I think people already know that this release, we'd said this release was going to be heavy bug fix. What I forgot when I announced that to people was this release is over. It feels like it. Next Thursday is lockdown. So this is because of the holidays. This was going to be a 4-week release, a 4-week month, just because of how the dates felt. But because of the Thanksgiving holiday, we can't do... we're going to release a build on Thanksgiving. We probably will put out a patch on Thanksgiving because that's how we roll. But we moved the release up a full week, which makes this a 3-week release. Which really means the first week is all patching up the last release. And then we get 1 week of dev, and then we got a week of lockdown, and then it's release time. So it's a blur. But we're going to try to focus a lot on quality of life stuff and keep the big new features like mounts or whatever to a minimum between now and the end of the year. We will get at least one new scene, at least a couple new boss fights probably before the end of the year.
Well of Alder?
Oh yes, that is. If you haven't seen it, that's the map that Travis is working on.
The islands.
Yeah, it is.
Idyllic sky.
It's getting very close. It might be mechanically. I'm not sure if that's the right word. I'm going to say mechanically. That's absolutely the wrong word. Physically laid out by the end of this release.
It's got blocked out.
Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. It's been blocked out, but it needs to have spawn stuff. It needs to have like the story stuff go on, some NPCs. Sannio's got to write some. I'm sure he's going to write some cool dialogue.
I got I got a couple NPCs. Like right from the bat, you'll have some of these adventure scenes. I'll put like a greeter near the entrance. He can, give you just sort of like an overview of what's going on, and probably give you at least your first quest. And he's sort of a researcher guy, so he'll have some experimental stuff that he'll want you to help with.
But anyway, so because this release is short, and I think people are going to be out for part of this release anyways, or Travis is going to be out for part of this release, not happening for this release, this 3-week release. But it'll happen for the end of the year. So that'll be a slightly early Christmas present to you. The release after this one is also, it's a 4-week release, right, Ravalox?
Yes, it's a same time frame as this one.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, we always have trouble around the end of the year trying to figure out when times are, because the worst thing that can possibly happen is we put out a build right before a big holiday, and then everybody goes away for the holiday. And that's bad for me because I'm the guy that ends up having to try to figure out how to fix it or get a hold of people and feel like the bad guy because I'm making people get on the phone. Let's see. So we've got a few questions coming in there. I will get to those here shortly. Speaking of having a bad 2020, that's the latest one and only thing is he... I was talking to him. He almost cut his finger off. He posted a picture of it, but he was working with a table saw and cut to the bone and broke the bone in the end of his finger. That's not a good thing for a programmer to do when you're like, especially like if you've ever seen a programmer type, he's kind of the classic programmer of, lean way back and pounding the keyboard 100 characters a second type thing. When you lose a finger like that, he didn't lose his finger. He can actually take the bandage off now, but it hurts. But the good news is I talked to him about it and was just trying to catch up and always try to take his temperature, see if there's anything we can do for him or help him out with some things. Just because he's done so many amazing things for us and been there in a pinch so many times. But he said the good news is when he was 12, he actually cut his finger to the bone, that same finger in a slightly different spot. So he doesn't actually have any nerves in that finger anyway, so he's not losing any nerves. So, hey, always look on the bright side of life. It's no worse, yeah. I'll warn you for those who got in a little bit late that John Marcus put up 1337 bits at the end, so I will be closing us out with a song today. I'm sorry. I'll try to come up with something good, though. Let's see. Oh, Lady of the Harp, you are most welcome. We actually... don't think it's any secret. We've had a few different community members who had COVID, come down with COVID. Jared has, I think he's pretty close to recovered. Last I talked to him, he said he just had a really bad cough, but trying to take care of people where we can. Which reminds me, I have not said it yet on this stream. I've not answered a single question. I've been talking nonstop for the last 16 minutes. But anyways, everybody be safe. Please, please, please. I just saw the numbers from today. I looked and it was at 94,000 for today, but a bunch of states hadn't reported yet. Yesterday was 120,000 and 1,200 deaths. So please, please, please be safe. I expect that to explode, and all the experts do too, over the holidays because of a lot of people just saying, we got to get together. We haven't seen each other in so long, and just getting together anyways for Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever. And that number exploding. That'll be right on the tail end of people, elections probably going to cause some. It sounds like things were pretty good, at least here in Austin, just because so many people are voted early. But anyways, please, please, please be careful, stay in game. I'll be getting you guys some new content as quick as I can. Let me first thank Bodacious. Oh, I gotta thank a moldy potato and Lilybird. Love seeing Lilybird name. Love saying Lilybird. Lovely Vivid, thank you for the raid. Bodacious 88, 500 bits, and Royu Spirituality, thank you for the resub. Mandalar, name I've seen for a long time. That reminds me, I need to get caught up on Mandalorian. We won't talk about that here. It's too easy to drop spoilers for people. Okay, I'm out of breath. You guys ready? Guys have anything to talk about? Let me start throwing some questions up while you distract them.
Who's distracting?
I think Ravalox is going to distract, right?
All right.
Look over there. Dead bird flying.
Okay, let's see. You don't have anything to talk about? Let's see. I got some. For those who don't know, if you haven't joined the stream, I know I saw a few people who just followed the stream. We're getting a lot of new players in right now, which is awesome. I'm sure some of them are returning players, but for those who don't know, we try to be pretty honest with you guys about everything on this. We're a pretty small indie team, and we try to just talk facts and where we're at and let you guys know. So I'm just mentioning that because I'll have one of those answers coming up here in a minute as I look over the questions. So first, Hollyhawk asks, any truth to the rumors of a mushroom mount? I don't think so. We're talking right now, the lowest hanging mounts are things that match up very closely with a horse that don't require different animations. So those are the things we will likely get in the next, by Christmas, by the end of the year.
So do people know how to get their mounts? Does everyone know? Maybe we should talk about that.
Oh yeah, why don't you tell them that, and then I'll take a drink of water.
Yeah, there was definitely a question as to where this quest is and stuff.
So we say quest, but it's not really a quest. It's really just sort of one or two conversation response things. Let me get my little list. There's 5. Hold my 4 fingers. But there's 5 NPCs that we have identified as horse specialists in our game. And if you have one of the foals from the old, I don't remember how they got the foals. Do you remember, Stephen? From
Stretch
yeah,
goals.
stretch goals.
Stretch goals.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have one of those foals, the plan for that was that eventually you would get a horse. You trade in for a horse. We spun that around. We didn't want to take that foal from you, so we decided you can give in the foal to domesticate it, and so you get back the domesticated foal and also an adult horse of a matching type. It's a normal decoration horse, one that would walk around, pet in your house. And then the other thing is, if you tame a horse in the world, not a decoration horse, you get a matching mount horse. And if you tame a horse in the world, of which there are 3 types that you tame, which is the bay, the blanket, and the palomino, you could go to any one of the same 5 NPCs and exchange it for a mounted version, so it's a swap. So the 5 NPCs are a Knob, of course, the stable boy in Owl's Head. And if you go to him, you'll see his corral has been kind of upgraded. I wanted to put extra bells and whistles there. Like he's got an extra gate, like right next to where he normally stands. There's some hay in there for horses, and of course he's got he's got a foal and the matching adult horse right next to him. You can go to Odin Korin, the master taming trainer in Braemar. He'll do it too. By the way, the simple keywords to start on one or the other is if you have a foal, say domesticate to one of these NPCs, and that'll kind of hopefully make it obvious how you have to go. And if you go with if you have the bay, the blanket, or the palomino, and you want to swap it for riding horse, then say accept a rider. Hopefully the NPC's dialogue will make it a natural thing for you. You won't have to remember it, hopefully, and you can just click the links. So anyway, the number 3 is Corsten, the masting tactics trainer in Decius. He's got a new corral next to his building, and there's some horses there, but you go inside his building, you can talk to him and do the swap. Next is Falcon, the animal trainer in Aries. So Falcon used to be just someone who liked birds, and for some reason there weren't any birds around Falcon. So now there's some birds flying overhead, some ducks next to it, maybe a raven and an owl inside the barn that she's next to, and she will do one of the swaps. So she's an Aries near the main entrance outside the main gate. If you know where the pot wagon teleporters are, she's kind of in that area along that street. And then the last one, the 5th one, is a new NPC, a girl called Oakley. She's the stable girl in Brittany Fields. And if you go southwest of the entrance of the gate to Central Brittany while you're in Brittany Fields, if you go southwest from there, then you'll see the stables that are kind of out in the open. She is there. She's a feisty little kid who will be happy to make the swap for you. So there you go. And as we get more mounts, it will probably be these same 5 NPCs that you'll do the swap at. So there you go.
Awesome.
Thanks for your time.
Hold on, let me kill this one person here. Get off. Come on. Hold on. Killing.
Here's a little bit of trivia. So Oakley, probably not too subtle, but kind of named after Annie Oakley. She talks how the character in the game, she wants to be a famous adventurer. She also mentions something in one of the things that she's a pretty good archer.
Wow, that just brought up a whole new thing to my head of stuff we could have right there, which is having emotes that are horse-only emotes. You can only do the emote when you're on a horse.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Annie Oakley made me think of that, like the riding side saddle.
Yeah.
thing.
And I tried to get the two trainers were kind of obvious picks. They're both an Owl's Head, and then with the other ones, one's in Hidden Vale and the other's Deathless. So those were kind of obvious. So obviously I wanted to make one across the continent in Novia. So that's where the one in Aries came from. Falcon ended up being a good pick, expanding her training from just birds to just sort of any kind of animal. And then it's always kind of nice to have something in the middle in Brittany somewhere. Brittany Field seemed an obvious choice. I feel confident that once we get what we call Town 006, you know, the central town in Mistrender, once that's set up, I think there will probably be a sixth exchanger right there, another horse specialist, mount specialist. Eventually, when we get to that. Travis sort of has his personal list of which scenes to work on. It's working out fine for me. As each scene comes online, you know, there'll be a little bit of a obviously visible flavor and interest, and I'll help some NPCs with some interest and some puzzles. And then, for those of you interested in the bigger storyline, that'll only come in after all pieces are in place.
Awesome. Let me get back over to the questions. I'm just trying to test up the loot stuff here. It did happen. I was just going to go through the boss fight real quick to make sure he was all good. But anyway, so the Mushroom Men mount, the Mushroom mount. The mounts that are going to come first are the ones that share an animation set with the existing one. We have to do animations for the horse, and we've got or for whatever the mount is, and also for the character riding the mount to make sure, you know, they sit on them properly. So mushroom mount is something that may have been mentioned. I think people know I like mushrooms. Past company did a Mushroom Man game. I'm all about the mushrooms, but not happening quick or in the near future. The near future things will be things that match up very closely with horses. That's going to be things like
unicorns.
Unicorn. Yeah, the stag is going to be the next kind of new unique one. Llamas obviously will happen. It turns out the llama that we have is actually a baby llama that, while it's fun to summon and look weird, it is not a very good model, and it also has a weird skeleton and animation system. We may end up doing a llama, but if we do, it'll probably be getting a new llama model made to do that. So that probably won't happen by the end of the year. Maybe we'll sneak it in. But the other things...
Yes, we're going to have boar mounts. I think the list of mounts we have behind the scene is huge.
Yeah. And then the other...
Like all the ones we keep asking for, like, oh, let's put this on the list. Oh, let's put this on the list.
Yes, and I also see people mentioning things that are kind of a slight variation on a mount rather than being a mount. Can it be a chariot? Can it be a whatever? We've actually talked about those too and using the same system. So right now... it is having that extra system in there. We can have that, and a lot of the logic is the same between whether it's a mount or whether you're riding, you know, on a top of a mushroom, or whether you're riding on a magic carpet or in a chariot or whatever. There's a lot of the same tech that's the same. There's some data that we've got to get in there to touch and tune up and improve on. But those are on the list of things. Here's the part where I was saying we try to be honest with you guys on stuff, that because we are a small indie team, we try to just get on here and tell you the truth on stuff, because honestly we couldn't keep track of it if we just told you guys lies anyways. But the brown coat Jason asked a very good question, which is any reason why tamed nightmares, light unicorns, and dark unicorns can't be turned in for mounts? Why are they crown shop only when they've been able to tame for a long time now? Because honestly, we looked at it, and mounts are one of the things that we felt was something that would help support the project quite well financially. It is something that is purely, you know, ornamental. It is purely, you know, it's for visuals, and then it's for convenience. That's the type of stuff that when we look at what things we can try and monetize on, we try to be fair with it as much as we can and give you guys alternative options like what Sannio was just talking about, where we give you a quest where you can take a tamed horse in. But making the cooler mounts, we want to make sure we give you guys options. And this is one of those things I know for new players who are haven't seen the evolution of the project and how things have gone, you will probably say, "Are you kidding me?" But the reality is, we have players asking us for different ways that what they can do to support the project financially, and they're like, "Give us more whatevers to buy, give us whatever," because they want to help the project, which we love you guys, and we love that type of stuff. But we looked at it, and this is one that just on many other projects, this is one of the big monetizing things, and we kind of felt like because it is a convenience thing, because it is kind of a trophy item, that it was something, even though, the immersive, in-game thing would have been to like have everything that you could possibly tame be turned in. We wanted to make sure we had some good handle on making sure we can monetize on it, because this is a feature that can have legs and can be something that can help support the project and possibly generate the revenue just from that one feature and that one decision that's probably not super popular, but it could be the type thing that could enough to add another team member to help build stuff. So that's the honest truth of why is we like to be able to pay bills and be able to hire another person or so over time. So that's the reason. I'm sorry, it is not something we did talk about making it so you can turn any tameable thing in, but we decided not to. So sorry.
I like when we do put in something that there's like a store version. We do work in the sort of everyman version that you just get in the world, whether you can craft it or tame it firsthand. So we do have some mounts you can just get in the world: the bay, the blanket, the pellet.
Yep. And for those who haven't seen how we work, we usually, when we put stuff in the store, it's not 100%, but we'll usually have some equivalent type thing. It's never a for power thing that we put in the store. It'll be, for coolness, for features, for deco stuff. And then most often we'll have a in-game version you can do that just has different visuals. It doesn't look as cool. So, anyways, let me get to some questions. Or actually, I have not copied the questions out for you guys to read.
Yeah.
Let me do
I
that.
did see one going along with the mounts thing while you set that up for us. Yaz72 asked, "How about a piggyback emote? Make your friend your mount." So I think that's super unlikely, but we did suggest it behind the scenes and made sure it got on the list that you can get on someone's, like, not your actual friend, but like some sort of NPC. That was the suggestion. Some sort of NPC that appears and you can be on the shoulders. It would be crazy to sort of set that up, but it's as we say, it's on the list.
Maybe we can do for April. We always look for our April Fool's thing. Maybe we can have an emote, because we have stuff like when you do the emote, visual additions appear, like the much feared one-man 5-piece band that gives people nightmares. But how about having for our April Fool's thing, maybe we could do like, the costumes that are all the rage now, where it's like makes it look like you're riding a dinosaur and your legs stick through the dinosaur and you have like little fake legs. Maybe we could do something like that, where it's like you're pretending to ride someone's back. It's like a little costume where it's got like kind of an inflatable guy there.
We should do one with Patsy, the squire from Holy Grail. So you get on his back and he's going around with the coconuts.
Yeah, that'd be good, having a little follower. And we do, for those who don't know, we used to, it would always be a Monty Python themed thing for several years, but we've mixed it up quite a bit lately. All right, let's see. Irish Eyes asked, llama and donkey mounts. Yes, llamas and donkey mounts. Our donkey mounts will be probably coming sooner. But yeah, those are two things that are on the list. We have tons of things on the list. And again, we'll try and mix in some in-game stuff that you can get, and then also some that is, store stuff.
Let's not forget also that we do have donkeys on there as a stretch goal for pack mounts.
Ooh. I'll have to go look and see what the thoughts are on the pack mount stuff. That may be one we roll in. I wonder how many pack donkeys we sold. I know I've seen baby donkeys out there, so if we have the baby donkeys and we have the donkey model, so we should be pretty close. Let's see. Coswald Dirthmeyer, had to do 3 major repairs on my chest piece yesterday because of the infinity damage bug. Any progress on this? What is the priority? The priority on that is very high, but it's also one that it is very hard. I have not been able to reproduce it yet. I do have some logs messages in there trying to catch what's going on with this, and I have not seen that log trigger again. I do believe my log messages for the infinite or the no experience in some situations thing has been caught the thing and that it's fixed now. I haven't seen that one coming up again. Hold on, I gotta kill some bosses. Trying to test loot for those who don't know. Come on.
While he's doing that, we continue to work on the bugs, and the forum intake is going well. So anybody who's poking around in the bug areas of the forums will definitely notice that the bulk of the bugs now have a submitted tag on them with a JIRA number. So we are processing everything and getting them in front of the devs to be worked on.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, Ravalox has been kind of taking over a lot of the bug stuff internally and working with you guys externally. We're trying to integrate a lot more of that stuff, improving our process for the bug stuff, and really trying to make sure we're on top of the things that are important. We still have a few growing pains. We had a few things that probably just took a little time to get into the queue, but going so much better and so much more meaningful. We've also changed up. We had a problem for a long time that we were just, basically everybody on the team was drowning in bugs. And it's one of those things, if you have 5 bugs that need to get fixed, you fix those 5 bugs. If you have 150 bugs, it's hard to really fix anything. You never get the stuff that's important. So, what were you going to say, Sannio? You have 150 bugs?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, so this guy actually had loot this time. So this has been fixed.
Well, not bugs. I should say it's tasks and bugs, and also look improvement listings. It's a combination.
Right. Yeah. So we're gonna go through all that stuff, and especially with the bugs, it's there's obviously there's a certain severity which JIRA calls priority, as far as blocker, high, medium, low, that type of thing, and adding in the capability of doing a finer tuning. So even amongst those, we'll be able to figure out what order of operation to go. In this respect, I'm really literally taking on what Star was doing back in the day. So I'm managing the JIRA database and trying to make sure the important stuff gets in front of everybody. Just getting to that point now where I've gotten things organized the way I want them to be within the issue database. And as we go into January, obviously now we're actually focusing on bugs for the next month or so here. And as we go into January, there'll be a better cyclic structure of making sure that the stuff is paid attention to that really needs to.
Awesome. For those who are wondering what the drops are here, each of the bosses, just because I know there's a whole group of people, and I saw a couple of them in chat here, who came and tried to do this yesterday after I told them incorrectly that the loot was actually live. But the bosses have a 10 to 20% chance of dropping an artifact. Each one of them, there's a new artifact for each one of them that kind of a little bit in flavor with the creature, with the boss type. So each one of those guys has a 10 to 20% chance. So my thought was on this, I tried to make it so if you came and did the cycle here, you would get roughly 1 artifact from killing the bosses twice. The mini bosses, they're not very many. They're pretty big bosses. And then you would get one. There's one that will always drop if you kill the last big boss. He will always, 100% of the time, drop an artifact. It's just a matter of which one it is. And this is one of the new artifacts. He'll drop other stuff too, as you probably saw. I picked up several things from him. But he'll always drop one of the new artifacts. And the difference is the mini bosses, I'll drop them as commons. The big boss will always drop one. He can drop a common or an uncommon. So let's see. So anyways, confirmed that it is fixed for those who were seeing it last night and it was not working. Now working. So now I can focus on talking for a bit. The other thing I've failed to do, quick distract them with your hands. Whatever. Just try and get the prizing going. There we go. Joe Durek, yes, one of the items is I'm continuing to try to listen to both player feedback, but also look at what players are equipping, and then also trying to figure out balance stuff. So yes, there is one item there that is a magic resist ring that scales up pretty high as it goes up the list. The base one was a 10, but yes, I know that is something that many people do not want. There are some people who want it. There's the other items are, two of them are horsey related, like mount related, giving buffs to mount. Maybe three of them. I'm trying to remember. I think maybe three of them give mount. So I think that was the only one that did not give a mount related thing. Did we get a prize? There we go. Prizes. You guys have spread out your giving here quite a bit, so it'll probably be hard to get it going. But our other thing that I usually tell people is if we get a hype train, we'll do extra prize rounds, one for each level of hype train completed. But I think we got a bunch of donations from you guys. You guys are amazing. But it did never trigger the hype train. Wah, wah, wah. Maybe I'll do one extra anyways. It's fun doing the extra prize rounds because doing the prize rounds is something that Elgarion has to give away. So we ruin his weekend by doing extra prize rounds. So you have to give out extra stuff. But while I'm at it, thank you to the Mad Chef of Xenos. Thank you, Waldo Ptolemy. Oh, that's so nice. Such a nice gift. Thank you, Shadow Vice. Thank you, Waldo again, and Mandalar again. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Sannio, you're the more rare of the two guests on our stream. Do you want to read off the prizes?
I will.
Apparently, I'm going to be doing two songs on the way out, guys. Go for it.
So, am I right? Should I go?
Go for it.
Okay. First, Doran Toadsticker gets the ornate spider legs cloak. Congratulations. Christ Pallid gets the spiderweb cloak. Very nice. Aminata Falloides? Falloides? I'm sorry. Gets the woven spiderweb cloak. Mickey Antier gets the zombie statue. And then this Dr. Hernbrand, that's what I'm going to say. Rustic two-story village home. That's what you get. So congratulations, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you for reading that. Giving me time there to pick out a song to sing. Also, for those who don't know who are new to the stream, if you want to torture your fellow stream mates, I will sing a cappella, unrehearsed, a song to anyone who gives 1337 elite amount of bits. For those who don't know, I am horrible, but that's okay. It's all right. Sometimes it's just fun to sing. And I did throw questions up there. I'm going to go grab a question here if you guys aren't ready for one.
Questions for you from Lilybird.
What's that?
Lilybird has a pair of related questions related to horses.
All right.
She asks, is there a reason that our capes/wings disappear when we ride horses?
Why, yes.
And also, she asks, so if I mount my horse, my cloak disappears, but if I'm on my mount and change clothes, then the cloak appears. Should I make a bug report, or is that done already?
So this is one of those things we always talk about. People that ask, like, why'd you put off doing mounts so long? Because it has a million different little tendrils.
Yeah, little interactions.
Goodbye, horsies. I see. 1337. But yes. So that's one that is, right. Capes have always been the bane of our existence. The cloth system that we use is, and we've tried a few of them, by the way, but it is not perfect. Cloth is always hard in a game for lots of different reasons. But the cloth, the cape, we were looking into different fixes for it. And effectively, the quick fix that wouldn't come with a ton of side effects was to just hide the cape when you get onto the mount. That is one, as you mentioned, you have wings and they go away. That's one that I guess I hadn't thought about. We just blindly hide the cloak. Maybe it's one that could be a quick fix. A fix that would probably be a good problem because wings aren't going to clip into the mount. Right now, when I put it in there, I'm the one that made that change. I put it in there so it clips, if there's a cape, if you're wearing a cape, it just hides your cloak slot, whatever it is, when you get on the horse. But it would be a fairly small, hour-long task for me to go in and make it so we can flag which back slot items do vanish. Yeah, because there's no reason we should be hiding wings or we should be hiding your backpack or whatever other thing you have on there when you got on the horse. It's really just the capes that cause a problem as they hang into the horse. So that is actually really good feedback. So Lilybird, I will try and get that in there for you. Technically, it won't just be for you.
And of course, the second part of the question, or the second question, is that yes, it is technically considered a bug right now. That if you could put your cloak on while you're mounted, and we are aware of it, so that's on the list of things to look at and fix up. And again, for now, this is the answer. Down the road, we might be able to figure out something else to allow your cloak to appear, but in a different way, so it's not clipping through the horse.
It's just another one of those things that it's a multiplier to the complexity of the problem when we have those things. We can make it so it would work with the horse and it would hit drape of the horse. Drape. Our cloth system doesn't drape very well. But it is one of those things where it is more data that we have to set on every single mount. And it also, when I was going through and testing this stuff, I still got Diaper Cloak to happen for those who've been with us for a while. You can still get the Diaper Cloak. Yeah. For those who don't know, that is your cloak will sometimes clip through your body and be hanging out in front of you, kind of like a loincloth. But it's more fun to call it a diaper. Let's see. Mark back slot items for which disappear on a horse. Good feedback. I had not thought about the wings thing. That is definitely how that should be. And that one's not a multiplier. That is kind of a one-time task and then a checkbox. I just need to go check on some things. Okay, getting back to some questions here. Let's see.
Mandalorian asks, where do we find the breach? So I can mention the breach isn't yet available on the overworld, so you can't get to it from that way yet. Chris is still working on it.
Right now, just because
we're ready, we'll coordinate.
Yeah, we're still. It's one that was. It was kind of on the bubble as to whether or not to add it. It got some testing before the release went live, but it's kind of something that because there's good rewards, there's a lot of challenges to it. It's got some new mechanics and some new things that could add bugs. Which last stream we actually saw some of those come up. I didn't officially add it for this release. It is in the game. If you want to get to the breach. There's several ways. One, you could send me a tell right now and I would summon you and you would be in the breach and you could find the discovery points in here. Two, you can find someone who comes to the who's in the breach, going to the breach, and they can teleport here because they've learned the location and they can summon you and then you can learn the location and you can teleport here. But there's no overworld entrance or exit to it right now. Actually, I think you can exit from here. You just can't enter to here from the overworld. It's still kind of in testing. By next release, which is now less than 2 weeks away, it will be live and we'll get it on the map. It'll be somewhere in episode 2 land.
My thought it would be on the eastern island.
Yeah. And I'm going to leave that to Sannio as to where that goes. The other thing I've got, speaking of things in testing, is I'm going to continue working on the changes to the shadow scene that will include a significant shadow boss fight there that will also have a bunch of new items that go along with that. And that's going to be another one. These are kind of a few things that I've been doing just as I continue to add more mechanics that we can use in the game for this type of stuff. But it is one that one will have a new mechanic that will be basically things in the entire scene will contribute to the boss fight. So it's one where you might be able to do it as a single person. I don't think you can do it as a single person. I'm sure Vesper will try and prove me wrong, but you probably will not be able to do it as a single person, but it will be one that it will be most achievable if you have a group of people working together, because it will probably include the number of shadows from the entire scene, how many are alive in the entire scene, as part of the calculations for how tough the thing is. So It's the weekend, people. Are you excited? I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got my own. I got my own stuff not related to anything else. That's just
Yeah.
stressing me out right now.
Understand.
Hey guys, when you're putting questions in, they go into the question list, so no need to spam them over and over. Okay.
All right, and you guys should have some up there. Do you guys want to pick one out? I'll each of you pick one out, and I will do a few myself while I wait. Oh, actually, let me go click the prizing button too. Bing.
Yeah. So one of them, I guess I'll address here is that there's a conversation about getting the profiles stored on the local computers. That is actually something that's not really viable for an MMO. Because they could have an exposure. There's certain aspects where there's specific thing being asked about the window positions. Those coordinates and stuff could probably be saved in a local configuration file, but the character's profile will not be done.
No. Let's see. I'll mention this one just because we have our bug master on here. Crossfire Bugs Eye asks, can we get a fix to the month reward leaf pavers? Nature doesn't come in straight lines. That sounds like it may be more of a feature request or a feature change rather than necessarily a bug.
Yeah, it's technically an improvement, but I could see where the pavers are absolute squares for the leaves. So, and we've been talking about it actually a little bit internally. I should say internally, but in the bug moderators, we had a little conversation about suggesting additional pavers that would be like the left corner and have a rounded pile there, and right corner, and so, variations and stuff. So that way, make it like a full set, almost like the road pavers with various types. That could be a bigger thing, and we could throw that up on the store.
All right. Irish Eyes ask a question. Can we have devotionals that are not considered to be NPC buildings? This is another one I'm going back to. I've had a bunch of conversations with Star about this over time, and I'm trying to remember all the different details on that, because I think this is one that comes up occasionally. But it is one of those things that I was reminded of this week that we've got to be careful about, because there's some people who may have upgraded their pot just to get some, bigger number, be able to have more devotionals or whatever. And so sometimes I think I'm being nice to you guys, which I am being nice to you guys, by increasing some number, but then I am reminded that, some people will now get angry because I'm giving everybody the things that they may have thought were exclusive to them, and they paid for exclusivity. So it's one of those things, it's a really tough balancing act. The devotionals in pots is one that we've talked many times about, though. I think that's one that my fix for it is I want to make sure that it is, limited by the town size. I just have never thought it should be on the same channel as NPC buildings. So that's my fix for it, would be that those go on their own channel that they have, where you can have X number of devotionals in a town, but that they don't count off the NPC town building. So that's one that I can look at for upcoming, for this release, for this release and next release, which will be a lot of polish and quality of life changes. That's one I can take a look at, because that's one I've wanted for a while. That I know a lot of people they really want devotionals, but basically their town looks, ghost town, because they can't have any of the other buildings. So let me look at that one. Good question. All right, you guys got one lined up? Sannio, go.
There's not a lot to relate to me, but this is Echo Box TV asks, when can we expect to see new mob types? So not this month or next month. We do have some that we're working on. Some are a bigger deal than others. So when you say mob types, you're talking about NPC, probably enemies. I guess in the Breach, technically there's new mob types there, the bosses. Chris made some custom guys. But maybe you're actually talking about like a new, completely new visual. So those types of guys is kind of what I'm talking about. Those are a little bit down the line, but.
And I can chime in on that. That's also when I mentioned stuff like, hey, the reason we decided to put, dark unicorns in the store or whatever is because to help raise money. We would love to get some more animation help, some more modeling help. I mean, for that type of stuff. Damon actually has a new creature type that is mostly done, but got pulled away to do a couple of things, one of which was helping with the mounts, because he's critical to a lot of the mount stuff, so he got tracked by that. The other change...
Almost anything art-related, not just characters.
Yeah. And the other thing that was a big drain, at least on him and a few other people on the team, was something we did this last release that, again, you guys probably didn't even notice. There was not that much player facing. You guys will probably not notice going forward either, because there's not that much player facing. We went the entire release without adding anything to the store because we basically built up a month backlog of items. So rather than us patching out, oh, I gotta get a new item in the store, oh, we gotta get a new item in the store, oh, we gotta get, and just patching them out when we patch out other bugs, we do them fully in advance for the full month. So catching up on a month-long backlog of items. So this month you'll be seeing the actual result of that, which is every Friday that they go live? I think it's every Friday. Just new items will appear in the store without having a new patch that goes out. They'll just magically appear. But those two things impacted his schedule, and he does have some that are done that's, again, a new creature type and a new monster type that will be coming soon. But what soon means, we will see, because right now he's working on mounts. Again, for those who don't know how our team works, we are very much we work on the game because we love working on the game, and we love making the game. Of course, most people on the team, there's actual paychecks and stuff like that too, which is why we have the unicorns and those type things. But I've always found that people are most efficient when they're working on the things they're passionate about. So sometimes that's meant that we've had some features that got delayed, or we planned on doing and then didn't do. I'm looking at you, special fertilizers. But Damon's been doing an amazing job on some of the mount stuff and a lot of that work, and helping out a ton with that, and that's something that he's been enjoying. So I've been letting him work on that rather than trying to push him to work on the other stuff. But we will get back to the other stuff. So
I think the new weekly delivery system for the store, I think that'll help him adjust his schedule to be not necessarily lighter, but more predictable for him. And I think that'll make things better for him.
And it's also something that it was not just impacting him, it was something that was impacting me. Because in addition to the other things I do, I'm also the guy that does integrations and does the builds and does build testing. So when we talk about hey, we're going to have at least 5 extra patches this release, because we're trying to push out store items that we didn't plan ahead of time. That's stuff that was affecting me and also causing bugs. And the bugs was the real reason we pushed it out, because we had far too many times where there's overlapping data that needed to go out, and it was causing problems, and there's no time to push it to QA and have it test on QA really. So this way we can now push everything out at the start of the release. All the items, store items for the whole release are out there. We don't have to do patches for that, and then because of that we can really focus on the builds we're doing during the release, with the exception of a few patch fixes here and there for things like we've done this last week, is we can focus on keeping QA up to date. So you'll see QA coming up to date. There's actually a couple of big changes. I know the thing Joaquin fixed was the heritage items counting against your bank slot count.
Yep.
So those those will no longer count against your bank. There's also a lot of some UI code that's going to be going, that is in there, that is, I saw it was several thousand lines of rewrite of code, trying to clean that up as we get ready to make some UI improvements. But those will be going on QA. I need to reintegrate over again and kick off the build, but I'll get them to QA this weekend. We'll get QA live with those changes on there.
A couple of things here, to address some questions in bulk, actually, without actually going through them. There's a slew of different mount-related suggestions, and obviously asking when we're going to do jumping and other things, including some suggestions for emotes on horses like we were talking about before. I am going to put together a list of stuff for improvements for the phase 2 of mounts, second pass on the mounts. So we'll I'll be collecting all that data and getting it together for when we start going over the roadmap for this coming year. That's just wanted to address that because there's a bunch of stuff in there for the amounts. The other things is that the Bug Brigade rewards, the monthly rewards, are due to go out. As last month I didn't get them out until the 9th, so this month I'm getting them out this weekend as well. So just wanted to say that. And there was a third thing, but I forgot. So go back, Chris.
The third thing was reading the prizes off, which I'll do right now.
I was just gonna say is a third thing.
Beat ya. We have ornate spider legs. Oh, you know what? These are last month's prizes. Other stuff is...
No.
Yeah. Rentier Woodpicker. Ornate spider legs cloak. Spiderweb cloak goes to Carius. Woven spiderweb cloak goes to Mia Sway. Zombie statue goes to Crossfire Bug's Eye. Rustic 2-story goes to Area Grey Wolf. I will get the other stuff updated. Maybe we should do one more. Maybe I can go update that if you guys have a few questions, and I'll draw one more round. Oh, that'll be so confusing to Elgarion. Let's not do that. Next time we will have the new prizes in there. So for those who care, the next time the prizes are going to be wood duck decoration pet, bonnet top grandfather clock, Sphinx bookend statues, ornate cornucopia 2015 version, epic fall white birch tree, and that'll be in the next time. Oh, and let's see, you guys want to do one more question here each, and then I will pick a song, and then I'm going to sing one song. I got to do 2 songs here. Got any requests
really
out there for a song?
For me, I would just be like asking either one of you guys some player's question.
You don't have anything? I can sing one here. I'll sing, do a quick one here, and then I'll pick another one to sing on the way out after we answer a few more questions. This one just because I know at least I'll be on tune for most of it. Roxanne, you don't have to put on the red light. Those days are over. You don't have to sell your body to the night. Roxanne, you don't have to wear that dress tonight. Walk the streets for money. You don't care if it's wrong or if it's right. Roxanne, you don't have to put on the red light. Roxanne. One song is fine. Are you sure, Mandalar? Was that good enough? That was so good. I think he's regretting his 1337 bits. Oh, come on, guys. Just imagine you're drunk at karaoke. Then it'd probably sound pretty good. Right? Do it high like he does? I would have to practice that. Maybe I'll practice that next time. All right. Apparently, Mandalar is regretting his purchase of his song for the night. So I only get to sing one. I will do a few more questions. I'll tell you what, guys. For you guys sticking it out, tolerating that, I'm going to do another prizing. Let me update the script. Can you guys each pick another question? I'll answer one question, and while you guys answer the question, I will update the script to give out the right stuff, and we'll just torture Elgarion with it. So let me do one question here.
Question for you. There's not really any for me.
Oh, man. Well, hold on. Let me put some more out there.
I will mention that I put in a tiny little update to the surrender NPCs. I don't think it's in yet, but I probably won't be until next release. I think I missed the deadline. But you'll be able to say the word shroud to some NPCs, and they'll just give you a generic response, or if you're wearing it, they'll make a comment where they acknowledge you wearing it. Where it's a tiny little thing, but it's one of the things that I like doing for the new area to help it feel like you are having an impact, like there is change in the area, where a lot of the original scenes, NPCs have no idea. There's no reaction when you have achieved something. But I want the new area, I want all the NPCs to sort of recognize that you have already done something before you got here, and also as you do things in the new continent that they'll be anywhere from like acknowledging of it to impressed or in awe of you. So it's something. Keep an eye out for that kind of stuff. So there you go, Stephen. Hopefully you get something.
Oh, I got something here. I was hoping you guys would wait a
Chris
second so I
does,
could do my question, so I could
there's more
update the
questions right
pricing.
there.
I'm trying to update the pricing script. Hold on. This was one I mentioned earlier. That I mentioned Wizard Smoke, not Joaquin. I have no idea who Joaquin is. Joaquin is actually Wizard Smoke. I saw somebody asking who Joaquin was. But John Marcus was asking, how is the show inventory timestamp going? As I mentioned earlier, one of the things that happened that'll be on QA is UI cleanup work. But it was several thousand lines of cleanup code and reorganizing things and trying to get things more manageable. That is in part because that's one of the things we've talked about we're trying to do for quality of life here in the next few weeks is we're going to be doing some UI work. That's one of the ones that I believe is low-hanging fruit that I'm pushing for. I think most players, for those who don't know, this is basically just an option or always on that it shows you when you picked up an item, when an item was added to your inventory. The reason this is glorious, in my opinion, for you guys is there's so many times you're sitting there like out adventuring and it's like, oh good, I'm overloaded now. Let me figure out what to throw away. And it can be really hard to sort stuff. I mean, I usually right now I sort by weight, but as an actual adventure, a lot of times it's more useful to see what you've gotten recently and see what you've picked up. That can be nice too, because sometimes you'll find that, oh, I got a surprise item I didn't even know because we were in the middle of a fight and I looted something in the middle of a fight and I didn't notice the thing. But anyways, having just the time on there that shows you both, how long ago you picked it up and being able to sort on that so you can see the items you picked up recently so you know what junk to throw out. All right, now I will let you talk while I edit this thing because I'm going to get us on the right stuff.
Okay, all right. I forgot. I remember what the last thing was I was going to bring up, which is the player dungeons. We're putting together a bit of a task force project. Tazar, one of our Bug Brigade moderators, is collecting and collating data, and we're going to be putting together a big project on QA to reproduce issues, long-standing issues in the player dungeons that we can't reliably reproduce on our own when we just get the bug report. This will allow us to leave the conditions in place during that period of time. While that's happening, we're going to not refresh the QA server, which the QA server will be refreshed this weekend, by the way, as well, to copy over from live. So this will allow us to be able to go in there and impersonate a player on the QA server, go see what the issue is, and go through it and fix it without having to try to reproduce it internally through our editors, which sometimes could be a real hassle, especially with some of the bugs that only occur when you get to 100 points or higher in your dungeon size. So there's that. Not exactly one of the questions that was in the list, but it's definitely something that I wanted to bring out and make sure everybody knew about.
All right, I'm almost done with the update to this thing, so it'll do the right prizes. Pricing update.
So Tina O'Neill asks, can we go back and actually do that kind of serious writing to the Truth Quest? I guess she's referring back to where I said I want NPCs to react as with the understanding of the level of impact you've had on the world. What I've said a few times recently, that it's unlikely that I go back and change or add any of the quest storyline in the original scenes. It's a little half true. Obviously, I'm going to go back and fix things that are broken or confusing. Every once in a while, I'll sneak something in that kind of should have been there but wasn't. So obviously, talking to these horse specialists to get something. It's not technically really a quest, but this conversation that is happening in Hidden Vale and Novia that wouldn't happen otherwise. There are. It's unlikely that I would have that high level of change put onto any of the old NPCs, like say Novia, along the Truth Path. Partly because it can introduce a lot of bugs. So when I put in these recognition concepts, usually it's based on special keywords, or maybe there's a keyword that's already there. And as you know, our whole conversation system is keyword and response based. A potential problem is maybe a keyword is already used, because sometimes there's alternate keywords. So like we might say bye or goodbye. They're both the same thing, that give the same response. But if I wanted to have goodbye have a different activity, then now every NPC that uses the bye/goodbye option now has to be changed. So we probably wouldn't change goodbye, but that's kind of an example of a potential problem. So it's unlikely I would go back and change all those guys. I'm not against it from a completionist concept. I love to do it, love it, but I need to stay focused on the new stuff and going forward. And when I make these new, like when I made Tanglemire, not the scene, but I set up all the NPCs in there, the children, the residents, the trainers, all those guys. I can make sure I set up those special conversation bits right from the start. And there's no flaws, and when it's submitted, it works okay. There's no conflict in keywords and all that kind of stuff. So it works out fine. I guess if episode 2 gets done and I have a gap between that and episode 3, potentially I might go back and sort of like do some tweaks here and there to some of the older scenes, but it'd be a lot of work.
All right, so we do have the new prizes there. I recognize a lot of the names in the old prize list. I think I'm gonna tell Elgarion to give out the new prizes to the people who got called earlier, because I hadn't updated the names in our dump. We read out the wrong names, basically, to make his life easier. If you have a real problem with it, you wanted something that was in there that you were going to get, feel free to just contact support or contact Elgarion. I think the new prizes are actually cooler anyways, and they're more seasonal. So hopefully that'll be okay with you, but just make his life easier. Let's see. We are supposed to be done now. Ravalox, do you want to read off those prizes while I go pick a stream to raid?
Once again, it is time for the fish report.
That's right.
But I hate fish. I really, really hate fish. My least hated favorite fish is sole. Is you don't have to see the eyes. There are no eyes. Okay, so the fishing tournament results are Robert Frost caught a king salmon at 2.669 ambiguous units in Salem, or I think that's right. And for the Pot Towns, he gets a Pot Town Row Lot Deed large gold fishing trophy. Dalen Lachlan caught a tiger shark at 3.522 ambiguous units in Dyesburg Ruins, and they get a PvP 2 chained obsidian shard 3-packs large silver fishing trophy. Enoch got a Dunkless Dias 5.822 ambiguous units in Krull. This is under lava and they got a fishing rod of prosperity large bronze fishing trophy. The fishing tournament runs on a weekly basis from Friday to Friday, so there's a new tournament going on now. Please check the forums for information on which towns the contest is running in.
All right, I just had somebody ask how they triggered the breach boss fight. The final boss fight is you trigger that by completing the 4 mini boss fights. Now this is one, again, I set this up kind of to be a party type thing, or a guild type thing, because each of the mini bosses is fairly challenging. I think maybe at least one person soloed all of them, but they can be difficult to solo. They're really meant for more of like a 2 or 4 person really good player or party. But anyways, you have to have all 4 of those bosses dead at the same time. They have a 10-minute respawn, so basically you have to kill all 4 of those within 10 minutes and then get to the center summoning area, for those who are curious. And I'll go ahead and read. You didn't read off.
Names of those bosses, Chris.
What?
What are the names of those mini bosses?
Why, they're awesome. I always pride myself on the boss names, or the item names, boss names. But anyways, the fire guy is named Pyre, Lord of Fire. The air elemental mini boss is named Gale, Gael. The water one is named crap, I can't remember. And then the earth one is named Rock, Wrauk.
You didn't remember the water one last time either.
Yeah. What was it? It probably means I need to make something cooler. Anybody
probably.
remember?
No.
And then the final guy, as requested by some of our Hawaiian friends who were helping me test it, the final boss is Son of Pele. Or Spawn of Pele, I think is what it is. So, boss, I forget where the water guy. The water guy's right around here somewhere. But, anyways, we got to get moving here. So let me do it quick. You didn't call out the prizes, did you? You guys didn't call out these this last time because I was doing third. Okay,
prizes.
That's what I thought. I told him to do that and he didn't do that. That's all right. I'll do it real quick. Wood duck decoration pet goes to Raven Moonlight. Bonnet top grandfather clock goes to Torhilda Thor's Maid. Sphinx bookend statues goes to Arthine Pyre. See, copying my name, Pyre. It's a good name. Ornate Cornucopia 2015 goes to Nevitz. I see what you did there, Steven. Nevitz is Steven backwards. Epic Fall White Birch Tree goes to Trick Steve. Congratulations, guys. Again, the people who got prizes earlier, their prizes are going to be those. If you have a real problem with it, like you really wanted that zombie statue or whatever, just ping me or Elgarion or somebody in game will probably help you out. But today, there's some people to raid here. This is usually where Elgarion has someone picked, but I have done the picking today. Silver Tree Consortium is streaming right now. Amazing. I would raid Silver Tree, but I was supposed to be on him last Thursday, and we canceled it because I had some critical bugs to fix. And then I was supposed to be on yesterday, and he wrote me at like when the stream was supposed to start saying, "Oh crap, I totally forgot," and I forgot too, and I would rather be able to promote it. And since we have a stream coming up or a release coming up in less than 2 weeks, we just said let's just do it next release on release day. So we're going to do it next release on release day. I'll try and promote that a little bit so we can get some people in there for him. Last week we were going to raid somebody, and then at the last minute we changed it. I think we were going to raid Revenant 84 last week, and we ended up not raiding Revenant 84. We raided somebody else, which was a great decision, and they were totally giddy and happy. So we're going to raid Revenant 84. We raided Last Diameter fairly recently, and I see Elwyn Moon is on there. We'll get you next time, Elwyn. Let's go do Revenants. So guys, again, let me get this started there so we can start piling in. Guys, be careful out there. Take all the precautions. I know everybody's exhausted, but please, please, please be safe. Wear a mask, wash hands. I carry around whenever I go out now. I do all that, and then I also keep around the wipes or whatever. Be super careful. Numbers are higher than they've been, like half again what they were in July or whatever the previous high was. It's crazy out there, so be careful. It's probably only going to get worse for the holiday seasons, but take care of yourselves. Keep your stress down, and we will see you next week. We've got at least a couple more patches coming, and we will get a QA build live this weekend. Did I miss anything, guys?
No,
I think
you got it all.
Got it? All right. I will continue looking. I'm going to go scan the logs right now for the infinite durability bug. I know that's one that's frustrating a lot of people. It is, again, it's one of those that's a little tougher to identify because like there's no magic for when it happens. It's kind of what it sounds like. I've never been able to reproduce it, and I stood around with a bunch of golems beating on me for a long period of time, and none of my items got damaged. So I will try and figure it out. I'm continuing to add a log into it so I can try and figure out what the heck is going on when it happens to you guys. So guys, again, thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Be safe out there, and let's go raid Revenant 84. Bam.
All right, everyone.
Raided.